Thank you for tuning in for another episode here on Destiny Flannel. My name's Tasty, and we're going to go over something a little bit spicy that I haven't seen talked about in the Destiny community yet. As you know, this season we have some artifact mods that can make us radiant with getting solar damage precision shot, and I found an interesting reaction with that in the perk Firefly. So I figured we could talk about that, how that works. I did a little bit of testing this morning. Maybe you guys can find something interesting to do with it. Well, before we get into that, make sure you like the video. If you do like this video, go ahead and dislike it and tell me why you don't like it down in those comments below. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the guns that I have with Firefly on it. I went through my vault, found a couple of them that I gotten from Onslaught here. We have Hung Jury, Blast Furnace, and Midnight Coup. As you can see, it has Firefly One for All, Connect Tremors Firefly, and Connect Tremors Firefly. I also crafted the Doom of Chalice with Firefly and Frenzy. And I wanted to test out because this wasn't the first one I have. Like you can see, it's level 9. This one's level 33. I have this one here that has Dragonfly and Firefly on it. And I wasn't able to get it to proc. We'll go over that when I show you this. But I wasn't able to get Radiant to proc with this specific perk combo. But every other one of these ones that I have, I was able to consistently get Radiant to proc on headshot kills that would kill other enemies within range with Firefly. Because let's take a look at like what actually Firefly is, in case some of you guys don't know. So precision kills with this weapon increase reload speed and cause the damage to explode with solar damage to nearby enemies. And I think that part right there, dealing solar damage to nearby enemies, is why we're able to proc Radiant off of guns that clearly do not have solar. Because the reason that we're able to do this is because of, I think, yeah, Flint Striker. Rapid precision, solar weapon precision hits and rapid solar weapon final blows make you radiant. So it specifically is calling out that you can only use solar weapons when doing this specific thing. And then now, one thing to keep in mind though, it does not proc Rays of Precision, just because I think that you have to get a solar blow first, and the first initial kill is not solar. That is the weapon type. It is the kills that happen after with the explosion damage that count as precision kills due to you doing a precision kill to do that. Because it seems like the way that Firefly is coded is that you get a precision kill, Radiant flows out, but the Firefly damage, the solar damage from Firefly is coded as precision damage since you got precision damage from the kill. And I know that's like, well, that doesn't seem to kind of make sense, but it does, because this has happened in other things in Destiny's past. I might get a really bad headache, so I can't think of exactly some of the other ones. I'm sure you guys can put those down in the comments below. But it has happened where damage, I think it's like, oh yeah, the thing from the, yeah, Whirling Maelstrom. If you get a tangle kill that is from a gun, that tangle damage counts as the gun damage. But if you get a tangle, if you make a tangle from your abilities, that counts as ability damage. That's the other thing I was thinking of. So yeah, so see, there are other instances of damage from said thing bleeding over to be the damage for the other thing that it created, which does kind of make sense in a way. So with it here, as far as looking over here, let's see. Now, another thing I wanted to kind of bring up here too was, you can get these, you know, as you can see here, we already know Doom of Chalice, Defiance of Yasmin, Smite of Moraine. Those are all from King's Fall raid, which I believe is also dropping from Pantheon because of the first encounter being Golgoroth, and that has King's Fall weapons. Now, the next set here these are all from the Vault of Glass raid, I believe. Yeah, Vault of Glass, because the Fatebringer that you can only get there. And Time Lost is the thing from that. But this set is the most interesting set right here, right? Because currently we are in Season 23. Now, everybody moans and groans about Hung Jury because it came back for like the 8th time. As you can see, it's like half of the fucking list here. But we have Blast Furnace, Midnight Coup, Hung Jury. Those 3 weapons from Onslaught can roll with Firefly. So, and I'm working on, I was already using the Midnight Coup with a Lucky Pants build. I'll come out with that over the next couple of days, probably towards the end of the week. But with it here, I think it's just, this is a very good interaction, and let's play some of the gameplay footage as I go over why I think this is a good reaction. So I started off the testing with Hung Jury at the Grasp of Avarice. I couldn't get it to proc consistently there to really test whether or not it was Firefly or something else causing it. It really could only be that. So I went ahead, got a checkpoint, went to Shirochi, and that's where I made most of my discoveries at. With the Firefly perk, the thing that I've noticed is that the first initial kill, like I said, is not solar damage. It's what comes off of it. As you can see, when I get when I get just a precision kill, the enemy bursts into solar damage. It's like having a solar grenade pop off right next to a bunch of thrall or something. Now, I don't know how viable this might be in higher end content where trash ads don't die as easily, but it should be something that is definitely viable in the first few rounds of Onslaught, where you could take your team a little bit further. You're going to be getting a 15% damage increase with Radiant that stacks with other damage increase modifiers, and you don't have to run a solar weapon. So this kind of opens up the slot a little bit more for you to be able to run different things other than, Luna's Howl, or some of the other solar guns that I have in my arsenal, where it's like I'm getting a little bit bored with doing that. But after I do a little bit of testing with Hung Jury, I switch over to Blast Furnace, and I wasn't able to get it to proc at first, but then I was able to continuously get it to proc. And the thing that I noticed was that you can reproc it if you get enough enemy kills. And it looks like the amount of kills that you need would be the same amount of precision hits that you would need in order to get Radiant in the first place with like a solar weapon. So I think it's like 4 hit for a hand cannon, so you have to get 4 kills, because it's not about hitting the enemy with the damage. You have to kill them with Firefly damage. So if they don't get killed, you don't get Radiant proc, because I think that's the other part of the artifact, where you're getting multiple solar weapon final blows to proc that Radiant. It's not so much, I mean, that does make a little bit more sense kind of going into it now that, you're getting multiple solar final blows. I know I said it's the way that damage is transferred, but after talking here and looking at the perk, because again, this is all something that's a little bit new. I haven't found anybody that is talking about it online. I seem to be the first one to run through some testing, so I'm obviously going to make some errors. So if you do find out anything differently, put that just down in the comments below, and let's help out some of the other people kind of push this forward. And it also helps out the channel and gets us a little bit of a boost there, because this is only my second video here. So with that being said, now with that new concept in mind, getting a lot more, getting the solar damage multi kills off of Firefly is what most likely is doing it for you. And if that's the case, I mean, again, it opens up the possibility for you to be able to run other things. Like I could run, because my favorite gun exotic at the moment is Buried Bloodline. It allows any class to add on that Devour verb, which is so useful for like Solar or Strand, where you're getting that grenade back and having a little bit of a survivability aspect added in there for the healing there. So I can run Buried Bloodline in my energy slot, and then I can run a Firefly like Midnight Coup and run a Rocket Lucky Pants build and not feel like I'm missing out on extra damage because I don't have a solar weapon equipped. So this is kind of mind-blowing. I'm surprised that nobody else has been talking about this. I just something I discovered, I think, Friday. I don't know if this has always been the way all the whole season, but for me, new discovery, seems awesome. And if you guys did, find anything different with it or use a different gun that resulted in different things, let me know. Because one interesting perk combo that I did find that did not proc it with Firefly was my Duma Chalice Firefly Dragonfly. That, because I believe what it seems to be happening is that the solar damage is getting overridden by the void damage that happens from fire or Dragonfly. So when that's happening, it kind of seems like it's void that pops off, and you can kind of see it here. I'll play a little bit of it so you can see that when I get the precision kill with Doom, it with Dragonfly and Firefly, it goes ahead and looks like Void, but when I get it with just Firefly, it looks like Solar. So I think the multi-kills that you get from having Firefly help out with getting Radiant, and redoing that over and over again will allow you to keep Radiant up. So it's not just about having it for the 10 seconds that you get, but you can keep proccing it over and over again. So I think that's interesting. I think it's a great combo because now you can add in that 15% damage increase from Radiant to any other. But yeah, you can add it to any other subclass that doesn't get Radiant procced easily, and you can do it with weapons that may be easier to hit the headshot on, like Blast Furnace, versus using like just some of the solar weapons. That's my thoughts on it. Sorry, this is a little bit rambly. I've just got a massive headache from allergies, and I wanted to make sure to get this video out before people started to realize it, because I wanted to be one of the first ones out there, due to, YouTube clout. Duh. Anyway, if you made it this far in this ranty video, I want to thank you. Go ahead and leave the comment yes down below. It really does help out the channel with engagement. Hit the like button if you guys did like the video. If you disliked it, hit that button and tell me why you did. Other than that, my name has been Tasty, this has been Destiny Flannel, and have an awesome weekend.